What's up, everybody? It's Orange Bloods Live. I'm Jeff Ketchum. That's Chad Hastings. And we are creeping up closer and closer to Texas via Ohio State. The Longhorns are a week into practice. We're going to talk about it and Arch Manning and all that stuff. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, do those things that we ask you to do every single day. Jump into the Specs chat it up, send us some super chats. We'll do all of this stuff. Today, though, Chad, is a realization that of an idea that I've had for months and months and months. Mm-hmm. And yesterday, Steve Sarkisian kind of started to touch on one of the only little potential bugaboos that I can think of for Arch Manning, this Texas team. We're going to discuss it today. That's on the agenda. But we should mention to everybody, the show is brought to you by Texas Card House, Hijack Poker, that we wouldn't be here without them. We love them. If you're a poker fan and you're inside the state of Texas, there's 6 locations to go play in person, and including 2 in the Houston area, which I love. There's one right down the road from me in Spring, which I have done well at when I've gone there. But you can also download, play the game, play the app, play for real money against real people, scan that QR code. As long as you're inside the state of Texas, baby, you can play and win money and cash out and get a free $20 signing bonus when you sign up and use Orange Bloods. I don't even think you have to do that, right? You just have to, you sign up, you literally get a $20 bonus. Do that today. Hijack Poker. They got a noon tournament going on right now. So, Chad, I have this theory. It's a college football theory. Mm-hmm. It started with Mike Leach in Texas Tech.
Okay.
Where every year it always seemed like Texas Tech was trying to make the hire on the defensive side of the ball that was supposed to change the dynamic of the Mike Leach existence. Because, right, we would always hear these things that, if you could take the Mike Leach offense and put it with a great defense, you could take over the world. Isn't that what the thought process was 20 years ago? But it never happened. Mike Leach had great offenses, never had a great defense. Somewhere along the line, it just occurred to me, the beginning of this theory that I had, that if you have a great offense in college football, how the hell could you ever have a great defense? Like if you're the LSU defense in 2019 and Joe Burrow is blistering you up in practice every single day with a bevy of first-round draft picks at wide receiver, how does your pass defense ever get good? You feel me? Mm-hmm. And so I started thinking about it, and then I realized that in college football, more times than not, you can have a great offense or you can have a great defense. Rare was it the team where you had both. The exceptions would probably be those Alabama, Georgia teams at the beginning of this decade when they were at the height of their talent apex and really could just, it was like putting a Pro Bowl roster on the field. It was like, well, how are we going to be good on both sides of the ball? We just signed all-stars. One of the things I've worried about low-key all year long with Texas, because we think they're going to be great on defense, right? Mm-hmm. If you're Arch and every day you're playing against a great defense, loaded, can't run the ball consistently, guys in the backfield are making plays. We heard from Sark just yesterday that this week Malik Muhammad's had a couple of picks in practices. How do you ever get your rhythm and consistency and making more plays than not if the other guys on the other side of the ball are just better than you? And I think one of the tricks that Sark's talking about in practice yesterday, where he admits defense is kind of getting the better of the offense. We need to be more consistent, kind of across the board. That they're just getting the better. It wasn't like one area. He didn't complain about the offensive line. He didn't say Arch has got to stop turning the ball over. He didn't say the receivers have to stop dropping passes.
Yeah. The biggest thing that sort of got mentioned was the mental side of get to the next play. Don't let stuff bother you. Don't let it crush you. Whatever just happened, we got to move. We got to get to the next thing. That seems to be on his mind right now.
Yeah, when you play a pickup basketball game and you are playing a 21 against somebody and you lose 21-18, you don't like it, but like, hey, man, it's sports. Sometimes you get beat.
Mm-hmm.
But when you play 21 against somebody who's significantly better than you, and they get to that point where it's like 11-0 skunk, game over, and then you're like, let's play again. And then they either beat you 11-0 again, or it's like 21-5. It can be demoralizing. You're like, hey, man, how about we just shoot for a while?
Yeah. There's a hot dog stand like right over there. Like, let's just go.
Hey, can you go back to playing with the Mavericks? I'm good. I'm good. And I wonder about that. Just in general, this is my theory about college football. Coming to we've never had this discussion before, in part because Texas has never been great since I've had this idea anywhere. They haven't been great on offense. We thought they might get there with Sark, and eventually I was going to have the conversation of once the offense got so good, how does Sark's defense ever get great if the offense is always barbecuing their ass in practice? That's what would happen with a Mike Leach team. The defense, no matter how much talent they had, were never as good as the offense, and then it was hard to be a good defense when in practice you can't be very good. How can you be very good or great in games if in practice you're rarely, if ever, great? It is one of the things that Texas is going to have to overcome this offseason in August as they play Ohio State in the first game of the season. And I think to some degree, Ohio State may be dealing with this a little bit on their own side of the ball. Because if you read practice reports, like their defense is better than their offense right now. And it looks very much like Julian Sayin is a quarterback that's trying to figure it out with no experience while going up against a defense that may up front on the offensive line, defensive line side of the ball, like they're just not as good yet on one side versus the other. I think one of the things, Texas Arch's kryptonite, right? That's what's on the thumbnail. It's potentially, we always say that a quarterback's best friend is his defense. But in this instance, if you're breaking in a new offensive line, a new tight end, a new wide receiver unit, two running backs coming off of major injuries, new coaching staff, like you've got all this change. What this team, what this offense needs to be able to do is to consistently cook. And Texas is so damn talented on the defensive side of the ball that I do think some of the offense's progression, its capacity, does get limited by the sheer reality of they don't get to just go up and down the field and gain confidence and gain rhythm. And sometimes Malik Muhammad screws that up. Sometimes Colin Simmons screws it up. Sometimes Anthony Hill screws it up. And when we get to the end of the month of August and we say, hey, did the offense ever have one of those scrimmages where it just looked like they could have scored 50 on any given day? You'd probably like to have one of those days. But if your defense is truly great, great defenses don't really ever have those days. So how do you do it? It is the conversation of the day.
Well, and, this sport is being run by, you've talked about it. The sport is being run by big-time defensive fronts in the end. That's how Georgia won a couple titles. That's how Ohio State just won a title. If I'm a Texas fan, I take a breath, but I really enjoy what I'm hearing as long as Sark is willing to play this thing out fully. He showed up at SEC Media Days bragging on defense. He talked about the defense overall. When he was asked to talk about one particular position group that he really liked on this team, what came out of his mouth, Catch? What did he say?
What did he say? Defensive line, right? Defensive tackle?
Linebackers. First thing out of his mouth. So this is a guy that knows his defense. What he's got to do, Catch, is not be Mike Leach. is not be the Pirate, because Mike Leach never fully, I would argue, he never fully understood how to do what you're talking about. He lacked those fundamentals. He lacked wanting to run. He lacked knowing when and where to go for fourth downs and stuff like that. He put his defense out on an island and said, good luck. I'm just going to go try to score 52. I don't care what y'all are doing. Doesn't feel like that's what Sark's all about. The question is he going to lean into this defense if it is that damn good? But he's also got to try to find what you're looking for. He's got to find little moments. He did mention a 50 or 60-yard touchdown run from Wisner, right? You got to mix in. You got to find those.
This team is super talented. It's not like it's a one-sided deal.
But but I do. Here's what I like. If I'm a fan, I like the idea that somewhere in practice, if Art starts to look a little down about it, Sark gets to look at him and go, hey, man, we think our defense is better than anything you're going to face.
Wait till Julian Sain gets a load of these guys.
Yeah, they've got the biggest hunk of kryptonite you're going to deal with. So here's what you're going to do, Superman. You're going to fight through it. You're going to recharge with the sun. But when you face all these other teams, their hunk of kryptonite's like this. Yours that you're facing in every practice is like this. It's going to make you stronger. It's going to make you better. And you're going to look at the Florida defense and go, oh, well, that ain't Colin Simmons. That's his goal.
Julian, I have like two thoughts that I would really stress, right? Three, I guess. It's because the main one would be, this isn't me screaming fire in a crowded theater. Because I think Arch is going to be in New York for the Heisman. I think Texas is probably going to play for the national championship. I haven't gotten to the point yet where I'm picking them to win the national championship. I'm not sure that I don't know that they're going to be better than Georgia and Ohio State.
Right. But
just yet.
But if they are, isn't it this defense?
With this quarterback when those two schools don't have it. So I'm close, but it does feel like national semifinals is the new they'll get there. And now can they get beyond there? I think they will, right? So this isn't me like telling you guys to not book tickets to the national championship game. But I do think, we need to just be real about what the hell we expect in Columbus. You're going to have a Texas offense with its quarterback and its new pieces playing against an Ohio State team whose best side of the ball is the defense, against a Texas offense that whatever we want to say about whatever the hell happens the rest of the month, they will not likely emerge over the course of the next month a well-oiled machine that day in and day out has been winning their battles against that defense and is the best offense in college football. That's not who they're going to be. I think we're going to see a low-scoring game in Columbus. I think take the under. I think that is – I don't even know what the hell the number is. But I don't know that Ohio State scores 17 points in that game. I think – the one story that there will be so much Arch discussion, there's not going to be enough discussion about the fact that Julian Sain, with as much change as Texas is going through, Ohio State's going through just as much or more, making his first career start in the biggest game of the college football season against the best defense he may ever see in his life.
Yeah, the good news.
That may be who Texas is.
Right. The greatest news for him, obviously, he's doing it in front of his people. He's not going to have DKR laying on him in addition to the defense. So theoretically, he gets
that does not make Colin Simmons off the edge go slower.
That's true. You're right. You're absolutely right about that. And the beauty of it, Catch, is in a maybe, we all know 11 a.m. kicks, always a little sleepy, even when it's this kind of game, even when it's the first 1 versus 2 to ever start a season. If Colin Simmons gets home 1 time early, somebody else gets home 2 times early, and Catch, it goes to like 3-0 Texas, 10-0 Texas, and Ohio State can't move the ball. You know what that crowd starts to do, right? They start to groan and moan and
we
rabble.
Saw it in Michigan last year.
They will rabble the crap out of that place, and they'll get their bottles ready to throw at each other and get their couches ready to burn at the end. That fan base is not going to deal with a loss well at all, and they'll go after Sain if he loses this game. It won't be fair, but they are going to attack that kid. So he's going to feel that if Texas can get on him early.
I mean, yeah. And, if you're Texas, the Michigan blueprint's the blueprint. I mean, defending national champions at home, big game. Michigan kind of doing what we didn't know last year entering the season was that Texas was going to be great on defense.
Yeah.
The year before, they hadn't been.
Right.
Like this year, loads of benefit of the doubt for this group because of what they were last year. But last year, going into that Michigan game, all we knew was the last time that defense had played against anybody with a pulse against Washington, Michael Penix has just barbecued them.
Yeah.
And so you were like, well, this is a team that's got a bunch of talent. That looks like a team that's probably got like 9 or 10 NFL players on its defense. But are they going to be good? I don't know. And then it turned out they got really good. I think that everybody just needs to calibrate their brains for the fact that as we give daily updates now, as this team is in practice, they got a big scrimmage on Saturday. My expectations, I don't know if we're going to get to the end of August and we'll have a moment where it was like, I don't know that there's going to be an Empire Strikes Back moment and to go to another movie reference. Yeah. I don't know that we're going to have an Empire Strikes Back moment where the offense takes its lumps in one scrimmage and then the next scrimmage, it's like Arch had 4 touchdown passes. And like, man, I'm just telling you, the Baltimore Ravens on defense didn't just randomly have days where Joe Flacco ate their ass up. Like where Ray Lewis walked off the field and said, we just didn't have a chance today, boys. No.
But that's where you have to hope that it's that thing about the toughest thing you ever face is practice.
Iron sharpens iron.
Right. You got to lean in on iron sharpens iron. Otherwise, it's probably not going to work. And Catch, back to the theory part of it. Can Sark do what Leach never did? First off, his offense will be better overall than what Leach had, and his defense he's committed to defense. Leach was not. But it's also key moments. Can you kick a field goal to go up 10 and trust that defense? Can you go on fourth down? Can you go in the middle of the field in Columbus because you know your defense will hold up? Do you have a 4th and 4 play that you love where you'll shock that crowd and then turn to your defense and say, fellas, sorry, we missed it, but we know you're going to go close the door. Like it's all of that stuff too. And yeah, well, I think we'll get what you'd hope maybe. I'm a defensive-minded fan, Catch, so I'm always thinking of the defense first. I would love it if we hear a report or two of, no, the offense is okay. Offense is all right.
Well, and I think they're not getting dominated. That's
right. Yeah, like no, they're bouncing back. But what we don't want to hear, if I'm a Texas fan, the last thing I want is Sark giving one pissed off rant at this defense from now till the game. Not one.
It won't happen. We're not going to hear that. We are not going to have that happen.
Not one time do you want to hear, if you're a fan, you don't want to hear him say, I was really disappointed in our energy on defense today.
Dude, if that happens, that would be the single biggest alarm bell.
Right.
Wait a minute. Maybe this defense isn't elite. It reminds me, look, back in 2010, there were signs about the Garrett Gilbert 2010 Texas Longhorn disaster. Do you know what one of the signs was, Chad?
What's that?
They got into a 7-on-7 practice against Texas State and lost.
Oh, no.
Now, it's okay, Chad, because they got a rematch a few weeks later, and they tore that ass up.
Oh, so it's okay. All right.
but it got out.
Yeah.
Texas State and their football team went up to the Texas practice fields like on a Wednesday night, and in a 7-on-7 matchup against Texas, Texas State beat them. And the word got out because you can imagine the Texas State people, those were the infancy stages of social media, but enough people knew about it, like it got out. And Texas fans were walking around going, what does it mean? It'll be okay. Anybody can have a bad day. Every once in a while, though, you do have to stop and ask yourself, if something so irrational occurs, it should never happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jeff went out and hung out with TJ Ford and shot some hoops the other day. What happened? Catch beat TJ Ford 21-0. Huh? Like, you have to ask a question at some point. Like, was TJ Ford breathing? Are we okay? Are we sure that TJ's okay?
You forgot the two most important words of that game: body cast for TJ Ford.
Well, it's unfair. He can't dribble because he's got a body cast on. Catches out there shooting layups like a chump.
Catch tied his hands right before they started.
And I'm just telling you, man, think about it. Like, think about any great defense you've ever heard of. You never hear this story about the 86 Bears or the 85 Bears or the 86 Giants, and that story about the day where Lawrence Taylor got so mad because defense couldn't play. Like, they show up every day. They're a pain in the ass every day. Colin Simmons matched up against whoever you have at tackle every day. And I think Texas is going to get to the point. That's where that September schedule is so important. Thankfully, Ohio State's kind of dealing with the same thing. Sayin shows up. There's just no way he's ready game one for, again, he may go through his entire college career and never play a better defense than the first one he'll play. That sucks for him. Like, it just does. Couldn't he play against Wisconsin if you're Ohio State? Isn't there somebody pretty good that could give him a really good test before, well, I don't know, the Sporting News preseason All-American team came out today. Texas had 3 players on the first and second team, one at every level. Like, that's tough. Just, and so if you're Texas, calibrate your brain. I don't think we're going to get a ton of offense in Columbus. I don't think it's going to be 34-28. Okay. I think it's going to be 23-13. And it will really be about first team to 17 probably wins that game. And then I think what we will see after that is the Texas offense in the kind of games that I'm talking about, where it's like, oh my God, the shackles have come off. We're playing scrubs.
Right. Play San Jose State, it's going to look different.
And when Arch throws 6 touchdowns in that game, it will feel like they're playing air. It really will.
Yeah.
And it will for Sayin as well. There will be a point when Texas is out of the way and he's not going against Ohio State every day, and he'll start to figure it out. And Jeremiah Smith will have a 10 for 202 game, and it'll all just come together. But none of this is going to happen for either Arch or Sayin before those two teams play. Like, they're both just going to have to deal with the fact that they're going to be figuring it out. That will not be figured out by the end of August. Okay. And that's because the damn defenses won't let them figure it out completely.
I think it's a fair statement. We'll look at some numbers here in a second. One of our chatters sent us some numbers on this game. We'll revisit that. If you guys want to throw super chats at us, we always love the super chats. Also, we love our great partners around here like Sinus and Snoring Specialists. Let me tell you, Sinus and Snoring sponsors my post on orangebloods.com every week. Shout out to them for that. Somebody jumped in the comments this week and said, hey, man, I think I need to see Dr. Slaughter, but I'm in the Houston area. Now, look, it's worth it. If you're in the Houston area and you want to come see Dr. Slaughter in Austin, I think it's absolutely worth it. Get it taken care of wherever you live. But in the greater Austin area, there's no place I'd send you before I would send you here. 601-0303. Call them or text them securely there. Go to the website, sinussnoringent.com. Dr. Slaughter's got over 20 years of experience. I've told you they've added another doctor, Dr. Salvador, who's got over a decade of experience. That means they've got more appointments for you throughout the day for your convenience. They'll get it taken care of. Feel clear, rested, and healthy with Sinus and Snoring Specialists. Allergies, snoring, sleep apnea, all that stuff. Get it taken care of. Don't let it get worse. Take care of it with Sinus and Snoring Specialists. We appreciate all of y'all for checking us out today. So, Ketch, you just kind of said this, but our man Christopher did throw it in for people that don't know. Texas is a 2.5-point dog as of right now in Columbus. He also pointed this out, Ketch. The number sits at 48.5 on the total. So if I'm hearing your score correctly, you're taking the under right now.
The under's the play, guys. Think about what we would have to do to get. What's the implied score? If Ohio State's favored by 2.5, the implied score is 25-23, essentially.
I was going to say, right. We're going back to the 05-ish kind of score. Yeah.
I don't think both of those teams are hitting 20. I don't. The defenses are too good, and the offenses, and again, I'm including Texas in this to a certain extent. I don't think this is a game where if you're Arch and your team wins, everything else is fine. If you throw for one touchdown, they're not going to beat you up at the end of the year at the Heisman ceremony because you won in Columbus but didn't do it with style points. You win that game, you're good. And then, again, the scrubs come after that. They can lay the hammer in September to everybody, and they'll figure it out. And they'll eventually get there. But I was waiting for Sark to say what he said yesterday, because I've been thinking it is the most likely thing that we'll hear is that, guys, I'm just telling you in advance, pretty good chance on Saturday at the scrimmage, defense wins. Defense looks better. Not saying the offense will be terrible. Nobody's even said that. But Sark painted a picture yesterday of the offense still looking to find itself, talking about got to make sure they don't put their heads down. Like, these are things. These are camp things. These are practice things. These are things with young players. This is a Texas program where 60% of the roster is either a sophomore or freshman. So you've got 14 seniors, by the way. Congratulations. They went up one. They gave a scholarship to a walk-on and what may be the last video of its kind, Chad, that we ever see like that. Like, if they move that thing up to 105.
Uh-oh. Hang on, Catch. You just muted yourself. I got you. Go ahead. I think you're good. Go ahead. Talk to me. Nope. Wait. Now I don't hear from you. You muted it on your end somehow, I think. All of a sudden, I wasn't hearing from you, and then I saw the mute thing come up.
I don't know how this happened, Chad.
There you are.
My mic switched from the speaker to my computer.
Okay.
And I didn't touch anything. And don't ask me how I knew to check that, but it's happened twice this week. I've lost my train of thought now.
That is weird. Yeah, no, I don't know exactly where to tell you where you were headed.
I don't know where I was going. That the sheer reality of that little technical glitch. I'm just glad we figured it out.
Yeah, we were talking about, and we've had a chatter that jumped in about what happened. We're talking about the defense maybe being a little bit ahead of the offense right now. From Sark's comments yesterday after practice, talking about the defense being ahead of the offense and kind of what that could mean if you're just jumping into the conversation. By the way, some predictions have been rolling in. Sandman says 27-17. I kind of like that one. 17-3 from 2010, the Horn. Oh, then Sandman just said, you know what? Let's just screw it. Let's go. Sandman, this is the score I want to see because Catch, the Ohio State fans are not ready for that.
No, I'm not ready for that. I mean, I think everybody'd give a kidney for that, but like, oh my God, like I want that for Orange Bloods and our YouTube channel. I want that for Orange Bloods live, but you know.
How about this? Let's go 31-13. There you go. Let's do it.
I think a real AFC North game I think we're going to get Steelers Ravens old school. That's what I think we're going to get. And look, those Steeler teams had Hall of Fame players at quarterback and wide receiver. And, you know, it didn't make them, but because Ben Roethlisberger didn't throw for 330 against those Ravens teams, we understood the assignment. And I think everybody just needs to understand the context of what that game in Columbus is. You've essentially got two quarterbacks making the first big game starts of their career. Mm-hmm. One's never started. The other one's got limited experience, although at least you'd say with Arch, he's seen some snaps in playoff games. You know, he has started games, but he's never started on the road before. So it's not like there's not a first for him. It's his first start on the road. It's his first start against a ranked team. Like, there's some firsts. And I think everybody just needs to realize before it happens that in the next couple of weeks, I think the odds of us hearing that the Texas offense blistered the Texas defense in a scrimmage or 2 days in a row, or where I think Sark will show up one day, and just for the sake of saying it, whether it's true or not, he'll be like, yeah, the offense had a day-to-day. And then he'll say, oh, how did they have an offense? I don't think it'll be like, well, Arch threw 4 touchdown passes. I think he may be vague with the details.
Yeah.
It'll be like the offense was fine today. Like, he won't let the narrative of the offense is incapable start to build. But I think we all need to get used to the idea that we're just not going to have, and this is good, because if the trade-off is, well, Catch, what are you saying? They shouldn't have an elite defense? No. Don't listen to this and be like, here's Catch going off about the problems and ills of being elite on defense and how you really don't want to be. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not. You want to be elite on defense every time.
It's the only way to win nowadays.
But you need to have realistic expectations that with that is going to come an offense that's probably going to have to find itself in actual games and not before the games take place. I just don't know. I don't know how you pull it off. And I know there's a lot of 1s versus 2s, and that helps Texas, right? But Texas's 2s are really good too. So it's not even like when you hear that the defense is winning, it's not because Colin Smith and Anthony Hill and Michael Taff are tormenting the first team offense. It's because more times than not, that second team group is just good enough that it's really, really competitive, as opposed to, what you see most of the time, you get mostly 1s versus 2s, which is pretty elevated advantage. So you'll make a point when you scrimmage. You'll make a point at some point during practice. And Mac did not do this a lot. I would say when Mac was around, it was one of the things that I think they took a while to kind of adjust to, this idea of there's this thought process that when you go 1s versus 1s, it's kind of old school, like, well, you're hitting harder and you're opening yourself up now to maybe more risks of injury. And so it was, how much do you tackle, right? Do we just thump or do you tackle? But then they started to do more thump, and then there was a tackling epidemic. And there's all these things. Remember that, Chad? That's for the kids.
Well done. Well done.
Mac might be watching. Mac, you have no idea. We play your hits all the time. Just for us too. It's how much we love you. I did that a little bit of a Mac Brown voice. I don't know if you heard that. That's
you did. That was nice. Yes. People can't tackle. Say you can. Screw you, Jeff Ketchum.
But I have found my Zen moment. I'm completely comfortable now. The rest of August, I feel like I know what we should expect. And I think that everybody should be ready for it. Thus, no reason to overreact when it happens.
All right, we rolled past buy or sell time, but that's okay. Good discussion about Texas. Also, we got to hit this. Vivek, thank you so much for asking. Are there any Orange Bloods website sign-up specials? Thank you very much for asking that question. Yes, there is. There's your QR code for it. How about $1 for a week? $1 for a week to find out what everybody's been talking about. Subscribe at orangebloods.com or just click on that QR code. We are talking to you 24 days before kickoff in Columbus. So get that taken care of. Also, just a little update for everybody. 24 days away from the game. That means we're 23 days away from what I am about to mention. Let me give Deep Eddy Vodka a little love here. First off, this is how they would tell you to make that pineapple lovely pina colada with the new flavor, pineapple Deep Eddy Vodka. You can check that out on their website, along with some other great recipes for cocktails and stuff. But here's the other thing you need to keep track of. Do you know who's going to Deep Eddy Vodka, the tasting room? Apparently, these guys are. That's right. We are making plans to get out to the Deep Eddy Vodka tasting room the Friday before Ohio State for a little lunch event. How about like a 12 to 3? That's what we're going to do. Going to do the show, then hang out, have some of that Crimson Creek Smokehouse barbecue. You come on out, ask Jeff Ketchum any question you've always wanted to ask him, and yeah, he might even answer it. It'll be fantastic. The Friday before the Ohio State game. So check it out. Shout out to the Deep Eddy Vodka Tasting Room. Can't wait to get out there and have Ketch see it because he's never been out there. You haven't been out, right, Ketch?
I have not.
First time.
Well,
okay.
I can't wait to do it. I mean, like there are reasons for that. I'm not the biggest drinker, so
yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Don't worry. Me and the people we'll drink for you. We'll drink enough for you. We'll be good.
I'll be there encouraging.
There you go. All right. Are you ready to buy or sell, sir?
I am.
First or second?
I'll go first. What the hell?
Hit it.
Buy or sell number 1, Arch Manning's over and under for touchdown passes at Ohio State. It's not factually set. I'm just setting it at 1.5 for the purpose of the question. You'll take the less.
Yeah, I actually did see it at Prize Picks today at that very number.
Oh, really?
1.5. Yes, buy. I will take the less. I think there are rushing touchdowns to be had, maybe even by Arch himself, but I'm not ready to go 2 passing touchdowns, so I would go with the less.
I'm with you. I think there could be like a running and passing combo, and then buy or sell number 2. The worldwide leader, ESPN, now has WWE and the Red Zone channel. Crap. I
don't even know what to think of this, but I feel like it has to be a buy of some. It's a buy on some level. Some level of it's a buy. I'm thoroughly confused.
I really liked what the WWE had done in the last year. I'm hating that they're going to ask me how many UFC pay-per-views I've purchased since it's gone to ESPN.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I was going to say none.
One.
Just one?
One. Okay. And I'm pretty sure that was a Bones Jones fight.
Yeah, okay.
Like, just something about it just hasn't connected with me, and I feel like I won't be seeing SummerSlams in the future.
Okay.
Buy or sell number 3. San Diego Padres pitcher Mason Miller threw a pitch at 103.9 miles per hour last night. That fucker got knocked out of the park. Before we die, someone will hit 107 miles an hour.
Wait, you're telling me somebody took 103.9 and just turned it around, put it in the seats? That's great. I do love that. Man, before we die. Okay, so that's both of us. Before both of us.
One of us dies tomorrow, we get to ride the other coattails.
Right. Before we die, someone hits 107. You know what? The human body and medical science is so amazing that, yeah, I'll buy. I mean, I never thought I would see 102 and 104 and all these things, but yeah, I guess let's go up to 107. Somebody will do it. It'll be some little glitch they find in Tommy John surgery where, oh my God, did you know he can throw 110 now? Okay, sure.
I should be shocked by 103.9.
It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. But we know now the more they're coming back from Tommy John surgery and the more work that's being done, I guess we shouldn't be, it freaks me out when I see an at bat where they're like, yeah, every pitch was over 100. What? He started him with 100, and then he went 102. Like,
the Phillies made a trade for the Twins reliever.
Yeah.
And his first pitch at Citizens Bank, the two fastest pitches ever thrown in the history of the park.
Yeah.
First appearance.
It's crazy. But your buy or sell should have been, by the time we die, someone's going to throw a 100-mile-an-hour curveball. That's probably what you should have said.
In 2080, the Ethos pitch will be coming in at 96.
Yeah, exactly.
Buy or sell number 4. Howard Stern not getting re-upped by Sirius XM is more surprising than actually finding out he's 71 years old.
Yeah, that's definitely a buy. That is a buy. Because if I'd stopped and thought about it, it's not like I've thought about his age in a while, but I might have ended up in that neighborhood. But yeah, so a little more surprised that he didn't re-up.
I'm the opposite.
Okay.
I saw 71 and I was like, Howard Stern is 71? That was my reaction.
Okay.
So now you're right. If I'd stopped and went, well, he started doing radio in the 80s and what was, but like.
Damn, real quick, Catch, look at this one. Is this real? Justin says 105.8 is the fastest recorded. We're not far off. 105.8? What? What is happening?
Vince Young must have thrown that ball. And finally, I have the oddest hotter than. Sometimes, right before we start buy or sell, I've got one question to go.
Mm-hmm.
Remember in Ghostbusters when they told the Ghostbusters, think of the thing that's going to destroy you, and then Bill Murray's like, clear your brains, guys.
Right.
Don't think of anything.
Clear your mind. Yeah.
And then the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man happened.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to think of a hotter than.
Yeah.
Clock was running out.
Oh, no.
Don't judge me.
You went the other way, didn't you?
Buy or sell number 5, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, question style.
Here we
Hotter
go.
than. Prime on Prime.
Prime on Prime.
Jerry Jones, hotter than Stephen Jones.
I'm going to give a big compliment to this one. This is all about Gene for me, and not Gene. It's about Gene and jeans. I'm selling. It's Steven, because when
Jerry was a college football player.
I understand who Jerry was, and I've seen the pictures, but you said Prime on Prime.
What is Stephen Jones's prime?
It's Steven. It's Steven. That's a sell.
Jerry, I think, would take exception.
Of course, Jerry would take exception. Jerry takes exception to media people asking him about Micah Parsons right now. But come on.
Okay, fair enough. Your turn. Go.
I'm going with Steven. The next generation should be a little better.
Saying, right? I thought the answer was an obvious Jerry. I don't know where that question came from in my mind. It's just what I typed.
I could have some Jerry feelings going on right now that contributed to my answer as well.
You just can't think of Jerry as hot. I'm sorry that in a way I can.
Yeah. My Lord. My Lord. By the way, before I get into buy or sell, speaking of those Cowboys, whether you're watching the Cowboys, Longhorns, or whatever, make sure you got your setup with AV Consultations. 255-8678, the big screen, the extra screen, the multi-view. Catch was just mentioned in the ESPN Red Zone thing. I don't know exactly what that means, but I know Red Zone's awesome. And if you don't have it, you need it. NFL Sunday Ticket, if you're getting it, make sure you got a big enough screen. You go 4-box on YouTube TV with the Sunday Ticket, and your original screen's like, I don't know, 40 inches. I don't think that's big enough. It's got to get bigger. Don't let somebody out screen you, but don't, you got to get a big enough screen. Get it taken care of. 255-8678, avconsultations.com. So you can catch Jerry in proper HD when he finally has to pay Micah Parsons at some point.
Hey, Sandman is going to go bleach his eyes out. So we've won.
That's the victory.
Yes.
There it is. There it is. Going to bleach my eyes out. All right, Catch, back to the original premise of the show. Buy or sell number 1. You like the pro defense reports from practice because you think Texas can beat Ohio State 17-14.
Buy. Yeah, you led me right where you didn't even know it, but that's exactly where I was going. I think we're going to have a lower scoring game. Take the under. I love Texas to win this game, though. I love them to win in Columbus.
God, what a big boy football game that would be if that's where it ends up. Catch, second up, buy or sell. Brandon Baker at right tackle. Nick Brooks backing him up right now. You're good with that. Buy or sell?
Sell. What does that mean? I'm good with that.
You're good with the idea that Brooks is the right guy to back him up. You think Baker will absolutely take the position, no problem, and be the right tackle. Nobody else feels like the right guy to back him up to you.
Buy. But I'm not good with the tackle situation.
Yeah, I got you.
I don't know.
By the way,
I don't know what Brandon Baker is. And you know what? The coaches may not know what he is for the same reasons of the conversations we've just been having. Yeah. Every day, he's going up against really, really good guys, and makes it hard to find out, is Brandon Baker great? Is Brandon Baker very good? Where is he at? What will he look like when he's not going up against Texas players? I think I don't know. I don't know who he is yet. Won't know till the games start. And I definitely don't know because the thing is, if Brandon Baker were to get a hangnail I don't know if Nick Brooks is ready. So am I good with him being the backup? Yeah, because they don't have any other options really that make sense. But is that good? Yeah. If you say, am I good with that? Yes. If you say, is that good? I don't know.
So just real quick, as I'm reading through Anwar's report about what Sark said after practice, as soon as he got to that depth discussion, he was going through depth and how important having depth was. And I kept thinking, if somebody could have stopped him and be like, okay, you're just talking about defensive line now, right? Because it felt like he was arguing that on offense and defensive line, they had good depth. And I'm like, but you don't, do you? You don't have the depth you want on the offensive line, Sark. Not exactly. Anyway,
not at all. You don't.
Yeah. It was weird. I think he was trying to make that argument, but I don't think I can go with him there. Catch, buy or sell number 3, the offensive skill guy that needs to come on in a hurry for you is Mosley.
Sell. Injuries.
Okay.
I think there are other wide receivers that on game 1 can carry the load. If you're asking me the guy that needs to make sure he's ready to go game 1, he'd be injuries. He needs injuries to catch a half dozen balls in that game, and or at least be targeted that many times, and really be a huge piece of the offense in the way that we would have assumed Gunnar Helm would be a year ago, or Jatavian Sanders the year before that, and I expect him to be.
All right. Catch a couple of better thans before we get out of here. Not hotter thans, but better thans. Buy or sell number 4, Lucille Ball has a birthday today. Prime on prime, laugh for laugh. She's better than Carol Burnett.
Better is an interesting word choice here.
That's why I decided to go with it.
It means I have to define what better is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to sell because you're going prime on prime. Now, look, prime on prime, the best thing that either of them ever produced was The Lucy Show. But the funniest that either of them have, no woman probably ever been funnier on earth than Carol Burnett. So I'll say prime on prime, laugh for laugh. Carol Burnett is funnier than Lucille Ball.
There we go. Shout out to Lucy on her Lucille Ball on what would have been her birthday. Shout out to Carol Burnett, born in San Antonio, by the way. Finally, catch, buy or sell number 5. Randy DeBarge is 67 years old today. Prime on prime, El DeBarge is better than New Edition. Buy or sell?
Oh, it's a sell.
Okay.
But I don't know that I've ever loved you more as a human being. I feel the same way about you asking that question as I hope you felt about me asking the Jerry Stephen question. I have an El DeBarge thing.
You have an El DeBarge thing.
I love El DeBarge.
Okay.
But I only love El DeBarge because of one song.
Who's Johnny from Short Circuit?
Nope.
Rhythm of the Night?
Bingo.
Yeah, it's a great song.
And we get to the part of the song when he's like, to the beat of the rhythm of the night. And he goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh. I love that part. No song in the history of music has ever crescended to a higher point than El DeBarge doing the, like that is just at the height of musical greatness. And no offense to any of the guys in New Edition with Mr. Telephone Man or any of the number of great songs that they have that would make them outrank El DeBarge. The other thing is the late, great Sean Adams has told the best El DeBarge story you could ever imagine.
He did have a great El DeBarge story.
That involved El DeBarge dating a girl that went to college with Sean Adams at Abilene Christian.
Yeah.
El DeBarge showed up there one day with jeans with his face painted on them, and some of the fellas on the Abilene Christian football team didn't take kindly to A, El DeBarge showing up in jeans with his face painted on him, or B, dating the most beautiful woman in school, who I believe Sean told me later married this woman. So, there we go.
Yeah. No, that was.
And I was an El DeBarge guy before that. That just made me love El DeBarge even more.
That was a great story. I remember that one. In fact, we may have done that during a show switch one of those days where one of us mentioned El DeBarge, and I got to hear Sean tell that story. So just to clarify, you are selling this and going New Edition, or you're buying and going El DeBarge?
I'm giving the right answer, which is New Edition.
You're selling. Okay, so I thought.
I'm letting you know, though, that you just even saying El DeBarge brought me some warm and fuzzies. It made me think of Sean. It made me think of the song. I love that song. I love it.
Yeah, there you go.
The rhythm of the night.
Shout out to El DeBarge and obviously rest in peace to the great Sean Adams as well. Yeah, that's it. El DeBarge. I think of when I think of Sean. There's some weird things that pop in my head. El DeBarge is one. Nutter Butters is one.
Oh.
Too much mayonnaise on all foods is one. Like certain things just pop.
What's
into my
that
head.
nasty sandwich at the Masters?
Oh, the egg salad sandwich.
Oh my God, Sean would go to Augusta and be like, I ate 12 of them.
He killed like 10 in 2 days.
Because he's like, they're $1 a piece, so why wouldn't I eat 12?
Out in the hot sun in Georgia eating egg salad. We were like, oh.
You're making me sick just thinking about it.
I know. What are you doing, Sean? All right, before we get out of here, shout out to Specs. They got all kinds of things going on this summer.
This summer, when the sun scorches and sanity is one sweat beat away from collapse, a hero rises. Specs. Your cathedral of cold cans, your oasis of cool.
Oh my God, I'm so glad I brought up El DeBarge. Catch, I do not see any super chats. Are you good? Wait, hold on, wait. Jay Lee earlier, $2 super chat. Catch, I apologize for my reverse racism. I guess it was a comment about.
No, it wasn't. Jay, you don't have to apologize to me.
Okay.
He just asked me if any cynicism towards Kroll as a prospect was because he was a white defensive end, and white defensive ends don't go to the NFL very often. And I was like, well, no, that never crossed my mind. But his being 6'3" and like less than 225 pounds, like that alarms me. But like, no, the white guy component of that didn't.
All right,
you don't have to apologize, Jay. I didn't think you were racist. I just thought you privately asked a question that, believe me, I've had weird things like that pop into my head too.
Jay, we appreciate you. One of our favorite chatters. And if that picture is accurate, you are either a very handsome man, or you're in the witness protection program, or you're Kirk Cousins. One of the three. It's kind of what that picture
is. Well, it's not Kirk Cousins because he doesn't have a starter jacket on.
That's true. That's fair. That is fair. All right, Catch, we ready to close up?
Wrap it up.
Thank y'all for liking, subscribing, and getting those notifications. I'll throw it up real quick one more time. If you want to get signed up for orangebloods.com, there you go, $1 for 1 week. Find out what everybody's been talking about. It's 24 days till Texas and Ohio State. Get signed up. You know you want to do it. Thank y'all for jumping in. We'll be back tomorrow with a Thursday show here on Orange Bloods Live.